Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Can we give it up for Stephanie Miller singing the Star Spangled Banner one more time? Awesome lady. All right, welcome to Relay for Life 2016. Are you guys ready? I know you're a little crowd, but you could probably get a little louder. Let's see. We got Team Eagles. Are you here? Team Captain Susie. We got Key to Awareness with Team Captain Brittany. We got Hope with Team Captain Izzy. We got Team KCA with Team Captain Nancy. I knew I was going to do it. Nancy! I knew I was going to do it. We also have Team BWS Awareness with Miss Honey. And we have Team Lifesavers with Eileen and Beverly. Where are they at? And we have Team Hall Roasters with Miss Beverly. Tracy, I'm just going to do it all day today. I've been practicing. I knew I was going to do now names all day. Thank you all so much. So far, in this event, you guys have raised a little over $20,000 with more money coming in. So for a small community, give yourselves a round of applause. That's amazing. Before we start, I got a few thank yous and things that we need to do. Every year we try to recognize somebody that comes out, a sponsor or a volunteer or somebody that helps out. So this time we would like to call out Gene Morris, please. If you would come up. Gene has donated his equipment for our stage and our sound system every year and he stays here all night long and runs it for us and doesn't sleep. So thank you very much. Thank you. We also want to say a thank you to Miss Bonnie Paro. She did all the balloon columns and the big balloon ribbon that was out there. We have a thank you for you as well. I would like to thank the committee. Without the committee, we wouldn't have this event. They work hard all year long, so I'm just going to go down the line, and I promise I will get all the names right this time. All year long, I've gotten their names wrong.
Read the name tag.
I can't read that from here. First off, on accounting, we have the dynamic duo Tim and Kimmy. We have Mission Delivery with Honey. We have our little baby of the group, Izzy, our registration chair. We have new to committee this year, Miss Nancy. Thank you. We have right there Andrea. She is our recognition chair. She has been here from the very start of Relay in Granite Falls. We have team recognition and team development with Miss Beverly and Miss Tracy. I know, I'm getting there. We have Facebook and everything with Michael. We have new to committee. We have Bonnie Paro. And we have our dynamic other duo in our survivor chair, Miss Beverly and Neil. We also have an amazing ACS director, or lead, or whatever you want to call Miss Eileen, and we appreciate everything you do, so thank you for helping us out. Throughout this last few weeks, we've had a few community events, and everybody's been waiting to hear about winners. So we're going to start with Brewing Up a Cure. We have a shout out to Espresso Loco, Hook, Line, and Sinker Espresso, and Happy's Coffee Stand. All three of them raised money during this last week to donate to Relay for Life. And our winning team, our winning coffee stand was Happy's right across the street. So I have a plaque and a gift for them. They cannot be here today, so I'll run her over to their stand. Make sure you go buy some coffee from all three of those stands. We also had Paint the Town Purple, which, if you noticed, all the little businesses around town all decorated. I'm not going to list them all off, I'll forget one. So, the winner, or we'll start with third place. Third place for Paint the Town Purple went to the Granite Falls Police Department. We miss Carol out there. Second place went to the Granite Falls Eagles. And first place for Paint the Town Purple went to Crevin's Dentistry down there at the end of town. And if you didn't see it, they painted their sidewalks, everything purple. So thank you to everybody who did that. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Eileen before we bring up our survivor people. So, Eileen, here you go.
Thank you, Bridget. Thank you all for being here. And for those of you who don't know, it takes a ton of work, enthusiasm, and time out of these lovely folks' lives to make this event happen. And right now I want to call up Bridget, our fearless leader, who's been, you are so passionate, and if it hadn't been for you taking on this when we first came into your office a couple of years ago saying, could you please do team development? And you're like, okay. We are so grateful, and you just go above and beyond the call of duty. So we would like to recognize you for all of your hard work, dedication, and leadership.
Thank you very much. This event is all about survivors and those that we've lost along the way and trying to find a cure. And every lab you take and every step we take today, we are one step closer to a cure. So thank you all for banding together and raising money and getting us closer. At this time, speaking of survivors, I would like to bring up a survivor speaker who's going to say a few words today. She is our amazing, I don't know what I would do without her, Beverly. I'm not going to try to do your last name. I've butchered everybody's names already today. So, Beverly would like to say a few words about being a survivor.
Hi, everybody. It's so nice to see all of you here. My name is Beverly Kazmi. Kazmi is my last name. It's very unusual. I am a cancer survivor. That still feels weird to me to say that, but that is true. That's what I am. My journey started, I would say, about Memorial Weekend, the end of May 2010. I woke up that morning and thought, wow, there's something that looks really odd. There's a lump right there where it's not supposed to be. So off to the doctor we go. We started testing, did a mammogram. Yeah, there was a lump. So we did an ultrasound. Guess what? Another one showed up. So now we're up to 2. We did a biopsy. Well, a few days later, I got the news. Something I was not expecting. I tested positive for cancer. I had stage 1 infiltrating ductal carcinoma. It's a very assertive, very aggressive, very invasive breast cancer. Well, that was something that was just unbelievable to hear. Talk about an emotional roller coaster as you're processing that information. It was quite interesting to hear that that's what I had. Looked over, my husband is just crying tears. So, after that, my world just took off like a hurricane. I had so many doctor's appointments and places to be and things to do. It was just incredible. So off to a surgeon. We went and saw the surgeon. He did a double mastectomy. We healed from that, and he told me I was cured. He says, I got it all. But he gave me the option. I could go do chemotherapy if I wanted to. I didn't have to because he believed that he had it all. If I didn't do chemotherapy, I had a 16% chance of it coming back. If I did chemotherapy, I had about a 2 to 3% chance. Big difference. So my husband and I sit down and we did a lot of discussion, a lot of prayer, a lot of thought. Because I wasn't going into this alone. It was also him going with me. Well, we went off and saw the oncology doctor, my cancer doctor. He gave me all the options, and we decided we would do it. So for the next year, that's what my life was, going to cancer treatment. Wasn't all that bad, but it seemed like it at the beginning. It seemed very daunting, very long. It was a whole year. So for the first 4 months, I went in once a week. I was there, just like clockwork. After that, I only had to go about every 3 weeks. So the first day of treatment was quite an interesting experience. I hadn't slept for about 2 or 3 days before, wondering what this was going to be. I was curious, I was anxious, I was not knowing. I mean, I was on an emotional roller coaster. So we go in, first day was just as smooth as can be. We spent almost all day long. Before I went in, I had to prep. I had to take steroids, and I had to take Benadryl. Those 2 drugs were already causing a war in my body. So they gave me 3 very toxic drugs. One of them was called carboplatin, so my mouth tasted like carbon. Even water tasted like carbon. Everything was like metal. So I go home thinking I'm going to take a nap. This is my first day. Nope. I was like the ever-ready Energizer Bunny and Superwoman all wrapped up in one. I had the biggest war going on you ever saw, and I couldn't do a single thing about it. All I could do was go along for the ride. And I'll tell you, it was quite a ride. I went home. I started cleaning house. I was doing dishes. I was doing laundry. I was a busy woman. About 11 o'clock that night, my dear sweet husband says, "Honey, please come to bed. I'm exhausted." Well, I'm still running. Well, I went and laid down, went to sleep for about 3 or 4 hours. About 3 o'clock next morning, I'm up and going. I'm still busy. About noon, the battery finally quit, and I took a nap. Needless to say, I took a nap every day after that. It was wonderful. So we went on and did that for a while. Got my treatment finished. It was amazing how fast that year went. Well, on my last day of treatment, as I was leaving, I ran into a family friend that I did not even know that he was going through cancer treatment. This man had decided that day he was going to quit his treatment. He had 3 sessions still to go. He was almost at the end. Without even thinking about it, I turned around and followed him in to where he was going to sit. Once he got settled, I got on that little stool, that little twirly stool, got up as close as I could get to his chair. I wrapped my knees right around his. I grabbed his hands, and I looked at him square in the face, and I said, "Jackson, how far have you come? How far do you have to go? You only have 3 sessions. You can do this." I says, "What makes you think you want to stop?" And he was just tired. He was discouraged. And I said, "You can do this. Look how far or how close to your goal." I says, "I just finished, and I did this for a whole year." I says, "You've got 3 more. I just started the biggest pep talk you ever saw. I told him that I would be there with him. I says, "I just heard the nurses say when your next treatments are." I says, "I will be here so that you will." And I says, "If you don't want me here, I am going to be calling your wife tomorrow and finding out, and I will come get you and bring you here." And I says, "You know I'll do that." Well, by then, he had a big smile, was chuckling, and he says, "Yeah, I know, you would do it." Well, I did check up on him, and he did finish. And I'm proud to say that he is cancer-free on this day. But that just goes to show you how loving and how caring people like each and every one of you, as well as the staff at those cancer centers, are, to show us that us as patients, we're not alone. We do have people beside us on this journey. That's a really big demon, cancer, that's out there after us. And with all of us together, that demon's not going to get us. Well, I'm happy to tell you that after my year of treatment, that I have been declared cancer-free at this point. And I can't tell you what an awesome feeling that is. I have been going in for checkups, and they have all been fantastic. I will tell you that this next month, I go in for my very last checkup. At that point, they jokingly says, now we're cutting the umbilical cord, you are free. I never ever have to go back in for another checkup, and I can't tell you how awesome that feeling is. The only thing that I'm disappointed at is that I don't get to go visit with the lovely people that I've become to be very close to and get to know, which is the doctor and all the staff there. Now, since that time, I have been privileged after I got done, now here's my plug, to be able to go back and volunteer with the American Cancer Society. You guys have heard about these wonderful people. I cannot tell you how fantastic they are. I was privileged to go back and be able to volunteer at the cancer center where I received treatment, to go back and love on these people and to show them that they're not alone, to hold their hand, to smile at them, to give them an encouraging word. You just cannot imagine how wonderful that feeling is when you're in there getting treatment. One of the wonderful things that they have is called a wig program, where they give out wigs. That was one time I loved to love on people. They would come in discouraged. Here they would have this head that they couldn't do anything about, hair that was missing. And what do I do now? So I would take them into the boutique, and I'd sit with them, and I'd let them just talk. And then we'd start figuring out what to do. I'd say, you know, now's the time you can change your hair. What if you wanted to do? If you wanted to be blonde and your hair is dark? If you wanted to have long curly hair or something? And every time they left, they had the biggest smile on their face because somebody was willing to sit there and just listen to them. That's all they needed, was to hold their hand and show them that they're not alone. That was a fantastic time that I enjoyed doing. The other thing that I've gotten into the last couple of months, which has been just so much fun, if you've ever heard of the Road to Recovery program, what that is where someone like you and I go and pick up a cancer patient at their home and deliver them to their cancer treatment and then take them back home. I have to tell you, that is so much fun because you really get to meet the people, learn about them, and just show them that they're not alone. I had a gentleman that I picked up a while back and was taking him to radiation. And he would come out to the car and he'd kind of look okay. And he'd open the door and I'd say, "How are you this morning, Quincy?" And he'd say, "I'm okay." And he told me a couple of days later, he says, "You know, I want you to know how wonderful you are." He says, "I have walked out to your car and felt really glum, just kind of down, just, you know, the emotions of going through this disease can just really, really draw you down if you let it." And he says, "You always had this bright smile on your face and you were chipper and you would always say, 'Hello, how are you?' He says, I could tell that you very genuinely cared." And he says, "That always made me feel good." And he says, "I got to where I look forward to you coming to pick me up." And that just really warmed my heart to know that that helped him get through his treatment, to let him know that he wasn't alone. That's what I wanted it to be about, and it was really heartwarming to have him tell me that. So, I'm trying to remember how I was going to end this. So I just, you know, with all of us beside each other and fighting this horrible, horrible demon, we can kick this cancer to the curb. We can take and we can just eliminate it, just erase it. I just want it wiped off this earth. It is just a horrible thing. I saw so much horribleness, I just cannot begin to tell you. But you know, I read something recently and I thought it was really cute. You guys have seen Toy Story and Buzz Lightyear? He just talks about, and this is my ending line, he talks about kicking cancer into infinity and beyond. And that's what we're going to help do today, is we're going to kick cancer into infinity and beyond. So all of you, thank you so much for being here. Okay, now that I'm over that, now I can carry on. Now we are going to do a survivor lap. Do all of you know what a survivor lap is? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to call all of you down. Oh, how far out can I go?
Keep going.
All of a sudden I realized that I better quit walking or I'm going to get stopped here pretty soon. So what we're going to do is we're going to call all of you survivors down, and we have a lovely gift for you. And then we are, as survivors, we have the privilege or honor to start the relay. We are going to do the first lap around the track, and then everybody else on the next lap can start joining in and just start exercising, getting that exercise and getting out there and walking. So do we have any survivors that have reached the 30-year mark? Do we have any? Do we have any survivors at the 25-year mark? How about the 20-year mark? How about the 15-year mark? 10-year mark? 9 years.
Oh, not 10 years.
Okay, let's see where I'm at. I'm at 8 years. How about 8 years? 7 years? Six years.
Right here.
How about 5 years? 4 years? 3 years? 2 years? 1 year? Is there anybody currently in treatment? Either chemotherapy or radiation?